Imagine this, you're cruising down a highway at 70 miles per hour, but you're not driving. In fact, no one is. The steering wheel gently adjusts on its own, navigating smooth curves. The car's onboard computing system communicates seamlessly with traffic lights, nearby vehicles, and even weather sensors, ensuring your ride is efficient, safe, and thoroughly futuristic. This is not science fiction. This is the promise and the reality of autonomous vehicles. Self-driving cars are here, and they're evolving faster than many of us imagined. But what exactly are they? How do they work? And most importantly, what risks come with this revolutionary leap forward in transportation technology? Let's hit the road and explore. At their core, autonomous vehicles are machines capable of navigating the world with little to no input from a human driver. They rely on a sophisticated suite of technology: artificial intelligence, camera systems, radar, LiDAR sensors, GPS, and onboard computing. These components work together in near-perfect harmony. When you sit in an autonomous vehicle, here's what's happening. Cameras and radar scan the environment for obstacles and moving objects, like cars, pedestrians, or cyclists. Meanwhile, GPS determines the exact location of the vehicle on the map, and the AI processes all this incoming data, making split-second driving decisions. For a world bogged down by congested roads, pollution, and human error leading to crashes, this technology could be life-changing. Advocates of self-driving cars argue they'll reduce accidents, cut back on emissions, and even save us time. But for all their benefits, autonomous vehicles are far from being a utopia on wheels. Let's get real for a moment. If we're entrusting multi-ton, high-speed machines to make life or death decisions in milliseconds, what happens when the systems fail? While autonomous vehicles boast state-of-the-art sensors and AI, no technology is perfect. A single system glitch or sensor malfunction could lead to catastrophic accidents. Let's look at an example. In 2018, a self-driving car being tested by Uber tragically struck and killed a pedestrian. Investigators later revealed that the vehicle's software had identified the pedestrian but failed to react in time. Incidents like this raise an unnerving question. Where does legal responsibility lie in crashes involving autonomous cars? Is it the fault of the car's manufacturer, the software developer, or perhaps the passenger sitting behind the wheel, even if their hands weren't on it? The issue of liability becomes a legal labyrinth when machines take the wheel. Today's laws weren't built for roads filled with autonomous vehicles, and legislation around safety and accountability will need time to catch up. Now, if that wasn't enough to get you thinking, let's talk about hacking. A self-driving vehicle isn't just a car, it's essentially a rolling computer with wheels. And like every other connected device, it's vulnerable to cyber attacks. Consider this scenario. A hacker gains remote access to an autonomous vehicle, disabling its brakes or steering system. That's terrifying. But it gets even worse. What if malicious actors target an entire fleet of self-driving buses, trucks, or taxis? With the rise of interconnected transportation systems, hackers could create chaos on roads or even use vehicles as weapons. Think of the implications for national security. There have already been smaller-scale demonstrations of these vulnerabilities. Researchers have successfully hacked into connected cars, manipulating their acceleration, braking, and even infotainment systems. These stunts were done in controlled environments to raise awareness about security gaps. But they beg the question, how prepared are we for real-world cyber attacks targeting self-driving vehicles? If the software systems governing millions of autonomous cars aren't airtight, widespread adoption could look less like a futuristic utopia and more like a dystopian nightmare. Let's shift gears again, pun intended, because there's another massive ripple effect of self-driving technology that's right around the corner. It's not just about who's behind the wheel, it's about who loses the wheel entirely. Think about industries like trucking, ride-sharing, and delivery services. Together, they account for millions of driving jobs globally. Autonomous vehicles threaten to disrupt these industries on an unprecedented scale. If trucks can drive themselves cross-country without rest, if ride-hailing services like Uber replace drivers with automation, and if delivery vans can transport goods without human input, what happens to the drivers? That's millions of people, their livelihoods, and their families affected. For some context, truck driving is one of the most common jobs in the United States. It doesn't require a college degree, offers decent pay, and is often a pathway to financial stability for thousands of workers. Automation doesn't just threaten the jobs themselves, it threatens entire communities and economic ecosystems built around these industries. And while promises of upskilling workers to handle new tech may sound appealing, it's easier said than done. Transitioning millions of people into new careers doesn't happen overnight, and the societal consequences of mass job losses could be devastating. Autonomous vehicles represent a technological revolution, no question. But as with any major leap forward, the challenges that come with them can't be ignored. From safety concerns and legal gray areas to cybersecurity risks and economic disruptions, self-driving cars force us to rethink not just how we travel, but how society relates to technology itself. To be clear, this isn't about abandoning the dream of autonomous vehicles. They hold incredible potential to transform our world for the better. Safer roads, cleaner air, and a more efficient way to travel. But progress is rarely a straight line. As we race towards self-driving technology, perhaps the most important question isn't how soon can we get there, but instead, how do we get there responsibly? So the next time you imagine climbing into a vehicle that drives itself, ask yourself, are we truly ready for what it takes to share the road with machines? Because whether we are or not, the future is approaching fast.